In this edition of Neighborhood Views, What's New Malden? Learn about the booming Made in Malden movie scene thanks to Mark Wahlberg's upcoming film Patriots Day from Business Development Officer Kevin Duffy. Get the lowdown on Ward 4 from the new counselor on the block, Ryan O'Malley. Still buzzing from the 10th anniversary of MATV's Open House Showcase? Go behind the scenes of the annual event with our new reporter Sharon Filiaw. What's new, Malden? Here's your host Sam Baltrusis from MATV's Neighborhood View.
Hi, I'm Sam Baltrusis, coordinator of MATV's Neighborhood View. So joining me now is Sharon Filiaw, the lovely Sharon Filiaw.
Thank you so much, Sam. I'm so glad to be here and being part of this team once again, and I hope I can do a good job for you.
Yes, Sharon is joining us as our new co-host of What's New Malden.
Yes,
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And there's a lot of filming happening right now. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, there sure is. Actually, last week I was down on Pleasant Street and they were filming Patriots Day. So I got to see a little bit of that filming. I never realized there were so many people involved in filming. It's really quite interesting, and they have all the extras and the background people, and there were people actually driving during the scene, had to keep queuing them over, and they had special lighting. It was really interesting.
So based on your perspective, do you think filming in Malden, does it benefit Malden?
Yes, I do, because I wasn't too familiar with the process of it, but apparently it's a great revenue stream for the city, and it's really needed. So I think it's wonderful if they can come in and they don't disrupt the city too much, and they seem to be very respectful to the business owners and the residents. So I think it's a very good thing.
I think it's great too. We're actually going to talk to Kevin Duffy next. He is the business development officer with the city of Malden.
Okay.
So we're going to roll a clip of the filming in Malden of Patriots Day.
Sounds good.
Hi, I'm Osa Schwab of MATV's Neighborhood View. I'm here in front of Hugh O'Neill's. As you can see, there's a lot of activity and buzz, and that is because this is a scene from Patriots Day, a movie that's coming out with Mark Wahlberg, who plays a composite character, Tommy Saunders, and this is a response to the marathon bombings. Now, what's interesting about this is the second set that has been used in Malden, the first being Ted 2 in July of 2014. Malden is making some waves and people are pretty excited. This movie's going to come out in December of this year, 2016, for a wider audience. It'll be available January 2017. We're all excited to see Mark Wahlberg. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to the June edition of What's New Malden. Again, I'm Sam Baltrusis, coordinator of MATV's Neighborhood View. Joining me now is Kevin Duffy. Hello, Kevin.
Hello, Sam. Thank you for having me.
So we're going to talk about the Made in Malden film action. So tell me, what is your process, in regards to if someone approaches you to make a film in Malden? What do they do?
Well, with the major motion pictures, what's happened is that I'll get a call from a location scout, and oftentimes he'll send me over some pictures and say, this is what we're trying to find. And so, like an example, in the case of Ghostbusters, they were looking for boiler rooms. So I asked some questions to find out if they were looking for a modern day James Bond boiler room, or if we're talking like a Victor Frankenstein type boiler room. They wanted the Victor Frankenstein one. So I talked to everyone in the city that I could and got a real good sense of where the boiler rooms are, got permission from the owners to show it, and then when the location scout came out, in about 3 hours, he saw 8 good boiler rooms in the city. And to us, that's what keeps bringing them back. They know that if they come here, it's an ease of doing business, and chances are they'll find what they're looking for.
So were they able to shoot the boiler room in Malden?
We didn't have a boiler room. It looked good enough, but it wasn't big enough, because I think Sharon mentioned earlier, it's an army of people that come in to make a movie, and so they had to have a lot of room for off-camera stuff. So we didn't get a Ghostbusters movie in Malden.
But Patriots Day. So Mark Wahlberg's movie, how did that happen? So it's Hugh O'Neill's, they were looking for like a pub?
No, what actually happened is they originally called about shooting down in Edgeworth. They had called, let me back up. They called and actually sent me a picture of Laurel Street over in Watertown where the actual events happened.
Oh, okay.
And so I took some time, drove around, tried to find some locations, sent them a list. They came back and said, okay, these are the 6 we want to see. So we jumped in the car, drove around. When the location scout shows up, they'll get out and they'll take 1,000 pictures. And I'm not exaggerating. They will take a lot of pictures. So they did all that and they ultimately settled on Edgeworth. So then as they got themselves set up in Edgeworth, they started getting creative and adding more scenes or saying, you know what, we could shoot that while we're here in Malden. The weather helped us a bit because they wanted to get some outdoor stuff. They couldn't. So then they were like, well, while we're here, let's do some interior scenes. So ultimately, we're up to 8 movie scenes, 8 settings in this movie.
That's fantastic. So what are some of the other ones that we don't know about? So it's the Hugh O'Neill's.
Hugh O'Neill's, they had called me on Wednesday night or Tuesday night and said, listen, we need a good bar. And this is the way they describe it, right? I get such a kick out of it. We need a bar where you'll see 2 people with the rest of their lives in front of them. Great, we got that. so I gave them a short list, and then they sent their scouts out, and they picked Hugh O'Neill's. They said, we love Hugh O'Neill's. So then they had to negotiate with the owners of Hugh O'Neill's to make sure that it was going to work out. And I think the owner was very happy because ultimately they ended up finishing early, and he still got to open for that night. But then they gave me some other things to find. So there was the bar. They needed an exterior of a building that could pass for a brownstone in Boston. So I was able to send them a bunch of pictures. And again, they go through and say, that's the vision we're looking for. And so then I connect them to the owners. They negotiate. And if it's a go, it's a go. The most important part of all this, I have to say, is Police Chief Kevin Mullis. Because the mayor is adamant public safety can't be compromised in any way. We can only accommodate the movie industry if the police chief feels we can do this safely. And so Kevin really understands the movie business. He knows what they're going for. Clearly, he understands law enforcement. So he's able to actually navigate that line where we can accommodate the business, the movie business, without sacrificing any of the public safety.
So something like this, does this showcase Malden from your perspective?
I think it does. You know, it adds that cool factor. Every town's looking for something like that. And this is our 4th major motion picture in a row. 4 movies, 4 years. And hoping to keep adding to that. So I think it gets people talking about Malden more regularly. And then, you know, Sharon mentioned some of the economic benefit. It's really not just for the city. I mean, when they come in, they have a budget to get a movie done, and they will get that movie done. So if they run into a problem, they can throw money at it. So you'll see people like residents, their houses, inconvenience factor, they'll be getting paid. Businesses, they'll get paid. A lot of surrounding areas. It's not just the set you're seeing. There'll be trucks that have to get parked. So they'll rent parking lots here and here and here. All of a sudden, there's deals with everybody. Then there's a massive amount of police details, fire details. They changed out all the street lights on Whitman Street to a higher grade light that shows up better on film. So that took our wire inspector to be in supervise that. So it's a massive infusion of cash that comes to everybody in the city. So I liken it to an economic stimulus program. Love to have more of those.
So the stars, people asked to let Mark Wahlberg. He wasn't filming at the Hugh O'Neill's scene.
Negative. No, that was 2 smaller characters, I guess. There are no small roles, right?
Right. But he was at the library.
For Ted 2.
For Ted 2, and that was huge. It was a huge scene. It was very. Were you able to see what was happening?
It depends on the director. Like the very first movie we had was American Hustle, and that director really liked a closed set, locked down.
Right.
Seth MacFarlane, who did Ted 2, and Peter Berg, who's doing Patriots Day, they've been great. They've been really good. So when the movie was shooting at the library, we were able to go in and actually watch it going down.
That's awesome.
It was fun.
And American Hustle, you mentioned. So I know that they were looking for like a 70s looking house.
Exactly. It had a stand-in for New Jersey, and that's actually what started it all, because it was the crew that's working on Patriots Day, the location manager and the location scouts that we first started interacting with, and they really appreciated the way we did business. So they've come back to us every time, and I think we've steadily moved up their list. So now we're their first call, and if they could get the whole thing shot in Malden, I think they'd be happy with that. But they did start down on American Hustle on Belton Street there.
That's pretty awesome. I've covered the Made in Massachusetts film scene for years, and it's a huge deal. It has an impact not only immediately, but it also they'll buy pizzas. They'll come to Malden and actually shop in Malden because turn them on to what Malden has to offer. Great restaurants, great things to do.
In fact, they shot at Hugh O'Neill's the other day, and then we had a grand opening, and we went to it, and I got a call at 5 o'clock saying, the director loves your downtown. He wants to shoot a walking scene. So they actually left Hugh O'Neill's, they went to another closed set location that they had set up, and then they came back at 7 o'clock to shoot on Pleasant Street. And then that evolved into the director saying, where's a pizza place we can shoot? And I was right there. And so then they grabbed all their equipment, they ran over, had a quick negotiation with the owner, and all of a sudden they're shooting probably a 30-second scene in there. But it's just funny how it evolved, but they're spreading the love.
I'm very excited. I'm excited to see how Malden is represented, even if it's on for a second, because sometimes they'll spend days filming a scene and it only shows in the movie like a minute or so.
Right.
But that impact is huge. Tell me about this past year. Has it been kind of a whirlwind for you?
Yeah, the last year has been quite an experience. I didn't realize it, but running for office in your hometown is one of the most exhilarating and rewarding experiences. You reconnect with so many people from your past, and it's really nice to, like I said, reconnect with the community and really kind of help move it forward.
Now, looking back a year ago, could you see yourself here today?
A year ago today, I was hoping that I would sit here today. It was kind of the infancy of the campaign, talking to friends, talking to family to discuss whether or not this is something I'd like to do with my life, and it worked out. So I'm really happy about that.
Now, there are a lot of issues facing Malden. There's a lot of change happening. If you had to pick the biggest issue affecting Malden right now, what would it be?
I think right now one of the biggest issues we're facing is kind of what kind of city do we want to be. And that is kind of an umbrella in terms of change. There's so many different ways that the changes that are happening to Malden are impacting people in different ways. So a lot of people are being priced out of Malden. We're losing some of our historic structures with some of the development that's happening. So I think as a community we have a lot of serious questions to answer and ask ourselves is, where do we want to see ourselves in the next decade, next century? Where do we want to see ourselves as a city?
Now, based on your opinion, like where should Malden go?
I honestly think that one of the most important things that we can do as a city, especially being from New England, is to really embrace our roots and to understand the importance of what it means to be from Malden. I take a lot of pride in being from the town, or the former town, that was the first town to petition the colonial government to secede from Britain. I think that shows what you can do on the local level. You can really have a huge impact on a nation and a world by starting local and standing for something. So I think it's important to keep to our principles and make sure that we are setting up our community to be the healthiest community possible.
What's New Malden? Ryan O'Malley. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Hi, this is Sharon Filia, and I'm here with Mr. Kevin Duffy, the Business Development Manager for the City of Malden. So, Kevin, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. You are a very, very busy man. In addition to doing locations for movies, you also encourage new businesses to come into Malden, such as restaurants. How do you determine what restaurants are going to be a good fit for Malden?
Well, one of the things we try to do is get diversity in our restaurant scene. You know, Malden's a very diverse community.
Yes.
We've been fortunate that that's been reflected in our restaurant scene.
Yes.
And so what we're trying to do is keep the balance if we can, but we don't really have a say on who can do it.
So I know that in Malden there are a lot of new developments. Do you think that this will help the restaurant business? Do you think that it will help with this influx of new condos and apartments? How do you feel about that?
I believe the developments are the reason the restaurants are doing so well. It's
Yes.
basically increasing the nighttime density of Malden, and
Right.
the mayor and I agree that it should be right in central downtown,
Right.
so that these people are transit-oriented development people. They're
Yes.
using the train and not adding cars to our streets. So now that you've got this density in here,
Right.
you've got enough people to help a restaurant survive, and more than one. So you see more and more restaurants wanting to be in here.
That's amazing. I know that some of our viewers might be interested in this as well as I. By 2020, what percentage of an increase do you see in the population of Malden?
I don't have the math right off the top of my head, Sharon, I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
But I would say if I had to guess, you're probably only talking 1,500, 2,000 people at most.
Oh.
We're actually at the same population that Malden was at in the 1960s. So it had taken a dip and now it's back to where it was. But
I
what people
see.
have to realize is that what's changed is the number of cars. What used to be a
Yes.
one-car household is now a four-car household.
And I'm just curious, I know that when development is coming in, they're going to be building a casino and all of that, and that's going to place stress on the like you said, the cars and all that, the infrastructure of the city. Do you have anything to do with that? Do you work with the mayor on that at all?
Well, when casinos was coming to Massachusetts, part of what they had to do, because of the legislature,
Right.
was to have surrounding community agreements. So
Right.
they had to have a host agreement with the city they're going to be in,
Right.
and then try to strike surrounding community agreements with the cities around them. So we were fortunate enough to have the opportunity to negotiate with them, and we came up with a very good deal, I believe. I think it's the best deal that anybody's gotten with Wynn, that accounts for the increase that we might experience on our roads.
Right.
Now, the interesting thing about a casino is it's not like a Celtics game where there's a start time and an end time and everyone comes and goes at those times.
Right.
A casino is a 24-hour operation, so that increase is really spread out over the whole day, and you don't have the impact as much as you might with, say, a concert hall.
Right, or a Bruins game or something like
Bruins
that.
game, right.
Okay, on a more fun note, when you bring in new restaurants, do you get to test all the food?
Oh, no, but part of my
No.
job, no, I don't. But I do love restaurants, so part of my job is the final kiss-off, as we say, is to basically give them a grand opening, and we'll use our
Right.
social media ability and the mayor's presence to get stuff out to the newspapers.
Oh, I see. Is this standard for every new business that comes into Malden? You have a grand opening?
No,
and-
we really leave it up to the businesses. As I like to
Okay.
say, it's your party.
Okay.
So if they don't want to have a party, we don't. But if they want to have a big blowout and invite everybody, great. If they want to say, come in, we'll get a picture and get out, so
Right.
we can go back to work, that's fine too. It's their party.
I see. Now, there is one new business that I know that you tried, Boda Borg.
Yes, I have.
Are you very good at it?
No, I'm not. I can do some of them, but it's really difficult.
I haven't. I'm very intimidated. Let me ask you this: out of all the restaurants in Malden, do you have a favorite one?
Yes.
Which one?
I can't tell you. Because I'll make one friend and 10 enemies, and I won't be able to eat. But I am a big eater. I eat out at a lot of the restaurants. You can ask all of them. They see me there, and I usually bring my family around. I do love all the restaurants we have here.
That's wonderful. Well, on that note, I guess we will end our interview. Thank you so much for coming to join us today.
The pleasure was
And
mine.
it's
Thank you, and
wonderful talking to you.
congratulations on your new role.
Thank you so much.
I don't like it at all. I would use a bad word, but I don't think I can on TV.
So you've been a customer for a long time?
Yes.
And so what are you looking for? Values today? What do you got there now you're holding?
Edges for mulch we're putting in.
All right. So 50% off?
I hope so.
Anything you want to add to Mark and the people who run the place?
Just thanks for everything.
All right. So let's talk about how you feel about it closing. Some of your thoughts and feelings.
I think it's truly sad. It's really sad because again, Mark's a great guy. These people have been great. The days of hey, how you doing? Hey, good to see you. How's things? It's gone. No, you can't walk into these big stupid stores and people say that and nor do they care. No, it's nice, and that's again right down to the last minute. We're here doing something together.
Well, that's great.
So,
All right. Thanks a lot, sir.
all
Appreciate
right,
it.
no problem.
How you doing? Good.
So we're running out of stuff to sell, so we're trying to piece it together and get anybody what they need the last time. But as we get to the end here, there's not much left.
So somebody asked for this soap here?
He asked for soap,
Yeah.
and I just tried to find something for him. And it turns out we really don't have anything left. Well,
How does it feel?
It's mixed feelings, really. It's been a great run, but sometimes you're presented with challenges and you can't overcome them, and when that time comes to close the doors, and it's sad, but it happens in business, it happens in life, and we'll move on. And somebody else will come along and fill the hole in the market maybe, and life will go on.
So I noticed you're bringing in the carts.
Yeah.
Tell me what your role is here.
Well, I'm actually Mark's partner. I'm basically the bookkeeper, more or less, but I do everything.
And how long have you been doing that?
35 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So my favorite thing to do is gather carts when it's a nice day out.
So what's some of your thoughts and feelings right now as you prepare to close?
Well, it's it's sad in a lot of ways, but it's also an opportunity to do something new and maybe start a new work life and into something different. So, but it's sad when people come in, long-time customers, and they're sad. But it's all good. My dad was here earlier. He's the Lamson from the 50s, and he's happy for me. So it's been a great place to do business, but.
So anything you want to say to the people at home who are probably customers watching this right now?
Yeah, well, I just want to thank them for all their years of, great loyalty and, good customers and good friends. We've made a lot of good friends over the years, and we really appreciate everybody that comes in. And I know they're going to miss us, and we're going to miss them.
Thank you for the years of support. Great customers, great friends, made a lot of great friends through the years. That's what I'll remember most.
Welcome back to the June edition of What's New Malden. Now I'm with the lovely Sharon Filia.
Thank you. Thank you. I love hearing that.
She's my new co-host, and you just actually grilled Kevin Duffy on camera.
I felt it was my obligation. I was just trying to ask a question that people wanted to know, but we actually kept it very lighthearted. But he has a really interesting job. He does a lot of great things for the city of Malden. It's really fascinating.
I think he didn't mention his favorite restaurant. Do you have a favorite restaurant in Malden?
Yeah, actually, the one that I really like is El Potro.
Oh, me too.
I'm not really big into spicy food, but it's a Mexican restaurant, and it's really great because you can have spicy food or you can choose not to, and the food is delicious. It is delicious. It's right at 156 Highland Avenue. They have parking. The general manager, Joe, is a wonderful man. They're just really, everyone is just wonderful down there. You should go check it out.
They also have a live mariachi going on too.
Yes, I've never seen that, but that sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah.
I've also liked the Susaku Bistro.
Yes.
Have you been to Ming's yet?
I haven't been to Ming's.
There's always a line, especially on the weekends for dim sum.
I gotta try that.
Yeah,
wow.
We should try Ming's. We actually have a clip at the very end of the show.
Okay, that sounds great.
Kind of highlighting the new restaurant Ming's.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about Open House Showcase. It was huge, such a big deal.
It was.
So tell me about the day and sort of the clips, behind the scenes clips that you and I worked on. What are some of the standouts?
Well, it was really great. I got to interview many of the bands that came in to perform for the Open House Showcase. And what was really amazing is that we had a spectrum of all the different genres, and they were all really good. And there was one lady who was from Lynn. She's a young lady, and she sang. She was so nervous, and she was there with her accompanist on the acoustic guitar, and she just wowed everyone. And then we had Brothers Walk for the finale. They're a very seasoned band, and they just brought the house down. And there was just this familial camaraderie. It was just, everyone was having a great time. It was fun. It was very lighthearted. It was nice and easy breezy. It was just a lot of fun.
We got a lot of compliments for our behind the scenes clips. People were like the diversity of it. We had all different types of people.
It was wonderful.
My favorite clip, I love the two sisters, Marilyn and Marlene.
Yes, and I saw Marilyn. I was shopping at Macy's and I ran into Marilyn. I said, "What are you doing here?" So we stopped and we talked for a little bit, and she told me all about Brothers Walk and what they were all their upcoming events. They actually are performing in Martha's Vineyard. They perform all over. Very, very seasoned band, and they do, from old school like Motown all the way up through the 80s and the 90s. So they have a wide spectrum of top 40s and pop and R&B that they do. So, but very, very nice lady. She wasn't with her sister, and I had to ask. I was like, are you Marlene or Marilyn? Because they're identical twins. So I was like, which one are you?
I love that clip. I love talking to the ladies.
Yeah.
I also the Terlonzo clip, with the Dick Tracy watches.
That was really amazing because I remember from a long time ago the Dick Tracy when they would talk into the thing, and his explanation for it was really interesting. He said, well, if you don't have a belt clip, and he said he can just contact Ann, the assistant director, very easily, which I think was wonderful. But Terlonzo does so much here, as does Ann and Ron, and just the work that was involved to put together MATV's Open House Showcase. You could really see the passion and the effort that really came through that night.
So we're actually going to roll a clip of the behind the scenes. We have the Terlonzo and the two sisters, and then also a little bit of Lisa Solda as well.
Yes. This is Sharon Fillier for MATV's Neighborhood View here at MATV's Open House with Director of Operations, Mr. Terlonzo Amos. So thank you so much for coming out here with us behind the scenes.
Well, thank you for interviewing me. Usually no one wants to listen what I have to say or ask me my opinion or anything. So thank you.
I'm so surprised because you actually run the nerve center of MATV. And as a matter of fact, you have a little device to show us that's helping you run everything today. What is this here?
This is the 10th annual Open House Showcase. And in the past, myself and Ann Durso Rose, who's the associate director, we always communicate via walkie-talkies. Well, the problem with walkie-talkies is that there is no belt strap, and if you're not wearing pockets or anything like that, you can actually misplace them, and then that kind of breaks down communications. Right. So we did something new this year, and we got walkie-talkie watches. So we're taking it back to the Dick Tracy days. Ooh. So I could call Ann right now, and she'll respond pretty soon. Yes, it's just, yeah. You can't beat that with an ugly stick. It's as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Oh my gosh, okay. This is Lisa Solda with MATV's Neighborhood View, and we are behind the scenes at the 10th Annual Open House Showcase.
Hi, this is Sharon Fillier from Neighborhood View here at MATV's Open House Showcase. Here with the beautiful sisters, Marlene and Marilyn Muldrow, lead and backup vocalists for Ultimate Soul. So, Miss Marilyn, how long have you been singing with Ultimate Soul?
Oh, gee, probably a total of maybe 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. Yeah. So the both of you began singing together with Ultimate Soul at the same time?
Yes, same time.
Okay. And the genre of Ultimate Soul, how would you describe it?
Back in the day, 70s, 80s, maybe a little bit of 90s.
Okay,
music.
old school.
Old school and new school.
Okay.
So all the genres.
Do you have a favorite song?
My favorite song is September by Earth, Wind and Fire.
Ooh, that's one of my favorites
nice,
too.
yes.
What about you?
I guess it would be another Earth, Wind and Fire tune with the emotions. Which one is that one, Marley?
Boogie Wonderland?
Boogie Wonderland. Yeah.
How did I know that? So we're here behind the scenes. Ultimate Soul is going to be our final band, and it's going to be coming up soon. So we'll let the ladies get ready. Thank you so much. Good luck this evening.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You look amazing and beautiful. And
welcome back to What's New Malden. I'm Sam Baltrusas, coordinator of MATV's Neighborhood View. Joining me again is the lovely Sharon Fillier.
Thank you.
That clip was fantastic, going behind the scenes and just seeing what's happening at Open House Showcase. It was the 10th anniversary of Open House Showcase.
Yeah, and I think it's getting better and better each year because the staff here is becoming more seasoned, and they're knowing what to do a little bit more, and everything flows, and everyone loves what they do here at MATV. I think that's key. People, the staff here at MATV really, really love what they do, and they put their heart and soul into it, and it really reflected in that day.
Well, we're already signed up for next year,
Ooh,
you and I.
Okay. Oh, okay.
We've already booked for next year. So this is the June edition of What's New Malden. Sharon, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Sam.
And she's been an awesome co-host, and I'm looking forward to doing more episodes of What's New Malden.
Oh, thank you. I'll be glad to be here.
So we're going to roll a clip of Ming's. It was the opening celebration. You and I have not been there yet, so excited to go. So we're getting a behind-the-scenes look of the opening of Ming's restaurant on Pleasant Street. Thank you.
Thanks.
3, we're just going to cut the ribbon on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey!